review, like, just give our comments and opinions about what has been happening across the world. And today we're sitting with US teachers to visit Kenya for benchmarking.
So they're coming like to see how we do our things?
How we do our things. At the same time, they're going, they're coming to learn from us, and at the same time, we'll be learning from them. They're not just coming to Kenya, they're coming to Kenya and Tanzania. Yeah. They're coming to learn about the local language and how we live as African. Yes.
How we live.
How we live,
So they're going to Tanzania as well?
They're going to Tanzania as well.
And they're from the US?
They're from the US.
So how are they going to talk to those guys when they're here in Tanzania? Kule ni Kiswahili tu kinawezekana.
Kiswahili kinawezekana. But of course, we are living in a modern world, and definitely
we are.
People in Tanzania right now who are watching us, and they're actually watching because they know there's an English segment, and
They are. But actually I heard in Tanzania everything happens in Kiswahili. Hata ukienda hospitalini, hata unaposoma kemia shuleni.
No, I never think of something. I know Kiswahili, but no, there are names for drugs. When you have gone to the hospital and they're telling you like, ugonjwa yako, inahitaji kutibiwa na this type of medicine, and you're like, okay.
Panado kwa Kiswahili.
First, before you go to the chemist or whichever place to buy the drug.
Panado kwa Kiswahili.
Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea.
So these teachers are coming to like see how we do a thing.
Yes.
And right now our thing is CBC. So
actually, that's the new education system in Kenya.
So they're gonna come to see how we do CBC. You know how CBC is being done. Have you seen CBC?
Yes, definitely. It has been trending on Twitter all over how some parents are like, wow, you just from work, someone tells you they need a whole usher the next day. I'm thinking myself,
how do I do that?
Together so that my kid goes to school. And by the way, what's your take on CBC? Now that you've mentioned, we're having parents and individuals who are positive about it. We're having people who are actually just negative about it. And even, we're having a situation where, it's been taken to court.
Right.
The system is quite expensive for, Kenyan parents, most Kenyan parents. What's your take?
I think me, myself, I went through 844. Needless to say, 844 was hard. It was very hard. It was like, we had to do like, in KCC, we had to do like 20 exams. Kiswahili paper 1, Kiswahili paper 10, English paper 6, agriculture and all that. But CBC, from what I've seen, it just kids are told you go home, make a scarecrow. So this meme.
I have a question. Is it just all about the scarecrow, or probably just making a hype?
The scarecrow was like the climax.
You're like, those people who don't have kids, they're like, should I just postpone have this right now, because it's like the education is getting expensive everywhere.
Yeah, they say that the CBC pictures doing rounds, they are the best parental advice for you who's planning to have kids early in your 20s. Want to rush into that marriage, just see the CBC memes and you're like, I think I'm gonna wait. Because they said stuff. And there's this meme I saw where this parent shared a picture where the parent had told the kid, come back to school tomorrow with well-prepared fried chicken. I know what the parent said, tunazoeana mwalimu. Tunazoeana. So I think US teachers coming to Kenya is a good thing. More importantly about what they're going to bring. In the US, they say the education system is very excellent. If you go through it, by the time you're out, by the time you're doing, I don't know how it really goes, by the time you get into college, you're very smart. You have like a lot of what you don't get here until much later. Because in the US, after high school, after you graduate high school, they actually graduate high school. Yes. So after you graduate there, you go to college, I think for 2 years, and then you go to graduate school. So for things like journalism, you can't just go into journal like, wow. You have to go through college first, and then you go to graduate school. It's the same with law, I think, most of these serious courses. So when people start these courses at 25, when you really are mature and older, apart from that. So I think if they're coming to Kenya and Tanzania, it's good for us.
Yeah, a good exchange program, because now the 14 will be tasked with understanding the social cohesion in Africa and how racism affects the US.
Racism. They're coming here to benchmark on racism.
No, it's not about the report on how racism is. Of course, racism is more. I don't know if I'm getting this right. I think you have a tendency of facing racism when you go to a world that actually majority of the people are not of your race.
Right.
So that means if you go to States or whichever country that you have high chances of facing racism compared to being in your own country. Same to them if they come maybe to Africa or, you know, sometimes you might end up not wanting to associate yourself with certain things because those people have that.
Right.
I'm sorry, because of lack of a better word, I think it's a backward mindset.
A whole lot of them are racist. You'd be surprised how many white people actually are racist. But do you think how do you think racism affects you?
It affects me in the sense that, because, you know, today the world has changed. You know, the world has changed. And by the fact of having that I've gone to school, I've been exposed to so many things, that means my level of thinking is not the same. I could be productive, or I could be productive to what you need, despite me being black. You know, I could have a skill in, you know, the kind of sector you're looking for, but because maybe you choose to become a racist, it means that you're going to cut me off and be like, you know what, I can't work with black people or white people. You know, it goes both ways. So the moment you're like, you know what, I don't associate myself with whites because, you know, I don't feel like they're my type of people, or I just don't associate myself with them. I feel that's a wrong mindset, according to me. I feel that's a very
it's not right. Mindset. It's not right to think, because often, Cecilia, you find that the people you write off at first sight end up to be the most amazing people, the most sophisticated, even talented people, and you just write them off in the beginning. But I don't think it's just racism. You find that even locally, tribalism, yeah, I tend to compare it. You hear someone is a tribe A, tribe B, they're just different from you, and you write them off. Yeah. So I think it prevents us from associating with great people.
True.
Because you'll never know who a person is behind their color.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go to Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Yes. Rusesabagina for
Rusesabagina.
First of all, let's just start with that name.
That's a name and a half.
Okay, my people from Rwanda, you know, they have unique names.
You have people from Rwanda?
Yes, anyone who's watching from Rwanda, that's my person from Rwanda.
Right.
So yeah, like they have unique, or I think each country tends to have unique names. Because you go to Egypt and there's some names you'll be like, okay, how do I pronounce them?
Egyptian names.
And I'm sure there's someone who will be like, oh, Otieno, that sounds like a tough name, you know.
Kimathi?
Kimathi.
What kind of name is that?
Yeah. Yes, so we are looking at, you know, Rwanda, and Paul Rusesabagina has been convicted. You know, this a figure that was, you know, brought out as a champion, or rather as a hero, in saving lives in Rwanda.
Paul Rusesabagina. I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Doesn't ring a bell.
It doesn't ring a bell.
I know. I know. That guy is the guy who was, you saw Hotel Rwanda.
Yes, definitely.
That movie starring Don Chido.
Definitely.
Back in the days.
I have not watched Hotel Rwanda.
A lot of people haven't.
In history and you know, but that was one movie that, honestly, I remember I watched it, I don't know how many years ago, and I cried.
You did?
I cried, trust me. Almost the entire movie, my tears were just flowing and flowing.
It was sad.
I had to stay with an handkerchief because, trust me, it's so sad, you know. Some people lost families, lost friends during the, you know, the attack, and we are having like over 800,000 people who lost their lives, especially the Twin Cities, and that is it's so sad. I think it's one history that, you know, if it happening to a country, whenever you want to do something that is wrong, it makes you rethink your decisions. You know, every time you remember that this happened to my country, and so many people were lost because of just carelessness by maybe somebody who decided to just, you know, change people's mindset through just a statement. Actually, yes. Yes, you think twice before you speak or before you share an ideology out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those who maybe are not up to speed, what happened is in 1994, in just less than a year, 800,000 people were murdered in Rwanda in a very big conflict that's been come to be known as a genocide, where it's mass killing of too many people. So there was a conflict between the two major communities in Rwanda. Rwanda is very small, the Hutus and the Tutsis. So it was the Hutus who killed the Tutsis?
Majority of those who died were Tutsis, but you're not so sure if actually it's just a major group that decided to against the other.
But according to the movie, it seems like the Hutus, that's what history says, right? And a lot of folks were killed. And it seemed, from what I know from that background, this guy, Rusesabanga, have I said it right? Rusesabagina. Right, that guy. Yeah, he was involved in saving a lot of people. I think he saved 1,000 people. It is, compared to the number of people who died, it's small, but it's still very significant. Yeah. Because that was crazy, the genocide. There are pictures of people, heaps of people in the streets, and you can see these are like people, so many people, they are all dead, Mazi.
You really wouldn't wish to revisit.
No, you don't want to even see.
To visit or to see, because it reminds you that you don't need to be careless with what you see and the kind of ideology that you share out there. And now, Kimathi, I'll cut you short. We are going on a commercial break.
Right.
But before that, let us just see, some of the destinations around the world that have been affected by COVID and how still one can travel to such destinations.
And enjoy them.
This year, giant Chinese social media site TikTok streamed the Great East African Wildebeest Migration for all its users across the world to see. Between the 25th and 29th of August this year, TikTokers enjoyed the Great Migration, which has been ranked as one of the wonders of the world, straight from their smartphones and computers during select hours. Through a partnership between TikTok, the Kenya Tourism Board, International Fund for Animal Welfare and Conservation International, global audiences also got to learn more about the annual wildebeest migration and the culture of the Maasai people of Kenya and Tanzania. The TikTok streaming of the Great Migration comes as the extraordinary migration event goes for the second year in a row, without the usual international razzmatazz and tourists who flock in from all over the world to bear witness as hundreds of thousands of the herbivores cross the Mara River into Tanzania's Serengeti National Park. For tourists looking to explore the continent, enjoy a memorable honeymoon or go on vacation, Egypt is literally on the top of Africa in terms of world-famed tourist destinations. The pyramids of Giza, which are the last standing of the ancient seven wonders of the world, are arguably the world's most recognizable landmarks, visited by some 14.7 million visitors every year. However, the Egyptian tourism sector is still reeling from the hard-hitting negatives of the pandemic, with the country having received a measly 500,000 tourists in April this year, a small number compared to the numbers that had flocked to the country before the coronavirus hit. In late 2020, Reuters reported that Egypt only received 23% of the tourists it had received in the previous year. The Great Pyramids of Giza are made up of three pyramid peaks, named Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafra, and the Pyramid of Menkaure. For those looking to visit the pyramids, which are located just outside the capital Cairo, the structures carry the rich history of ancient Egypt that tourists can explore at a fee. Egypt has also invested in world-class hotels and accommodation for tourists who come to see the pyramids to stay in. Away from the pyramids, Kruger National Park in South Africa is arguably one of Africa's best game reserves, as well as one of the oldest. The park, which is 4 to 5 hours outside Johannesburg, is one of the few places in the world where tourists can see the big five animals, which are the lion, leopard, buffalo, elephant, and the now endangered rhino. The vast Kruger National Park also offers hiking trails, adventurous camping sites, as well as hot air balloon trips that offer breathtaking views of the vast grassland. The park offers a rich array of hotels and lodges to suit all sizes of budgets. Still in South Africa, the city of Cape Town has been named the most attractive African city, with about 28 million visitors having visited the city in 2016 alone. And finally, here at home, Kenya's Diani Beach is renowned for having some of the whitest beach sands in the world. The beach, which is 17 kilometers long, is one of the most prominent tourist destinations in the East African region. Every year, thousands of tourists from around the world flock to Diani to bask in the coastal sun, enjoy the coral reefs, see Diani's famous black and white colobus monkeys, and engage in water sports such as kite surfing, jet skiing, and snorkeling. The welcoming local Mijikenda people, bustling flora and fauna around the beach, as well as the nearby Shimba Hills National Park, has led to the Ukunda Beach area steadily growing into a busy economic town on the south side of the Kenyan coastline. A number of high-end and affordable hotels found in Ukunda provide a wide range of accommodation options for visitors. In 2019, Diani Beach was named Africa's leading beach destination at the World Travel Awards held in Mauritius. Together with other world-renowned tourist destinations in the country, the sandy beaches of Diani make a substantial contribution to Kenya's economy. In 2019 alone, Kenya made 164 billion shillings in revenue from tourism. The country was also named Africa's top tourism destination at the World Travel Awards. However, since the coronavirus pandemic hit Kenya in March 2020, tourism has been the worst-hit industry, with thousands of Kenyans going out of work and the hundreds of thousands of international tourists who flock the country every year staying away due to global travel restrictions prompted by the coronavirus pandemic. Julius Owino is the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Tourism Workers and Hoteliers in Kenyan Coast.
Tourism is one of the biggest sector in the economy. And the country supports like 10% of the GDP. However, we must realize that the issue of COVID has really ravaged the industry for better part of last year and this year. The industry has been on its knees. We have lost more than 65%, 65 to 70% of our earnings because of COVID. When this COVID started in last year, at first we thought this thing would take like 2 weeks, 1 month. It has cascaded and right up to this year. And this has really affected the industry because we are in an industry where people socialize. But now we are coming up with the issue of social distance, the issue of lockdowns that we had, the issue of travel restrictions. All these affected the industry. Since COVID started, you find that the whole coast region, which actually tourism supports around 60% of the economy of the coast region. And you find that with COVID and its effect, so you find that a number of businesses closed down, so many people were sent home, we have a number of staff with unpaid leave. We have 40,000 bed capacity in coast region. When you lose around 70% or even 100% when we had COVID, when the hotels were closed, you are looking at a working population of around 80,000, both directly and indirectly, in the whole coast region within the industry. So you find that when you send these people home, when there's nothing they are earning, it also affects the landlord down there. It affects the mamamboga down there. It affects the transport industry. It affects everyone. So that is the situation we've had. However, I have to say that if you look at December last year and some part of this year, after the partial lockdown we had this year, you find that the domestic tourism has started picking, and we're getting a number of guests from either Kisumu, Nairobi, and the other areas. And also regionally, we're also getting clients from other areas. So you find that the industry is resilient based on the domestic market. And that is why we also have to do so much in terms of coming up with strategies that support the domestic tourism within the region and the country as a whole.
He says the worst days are behind them, but there still is a lot to be done to get the sector back to its feet.
The thing is that we have always have a lot of focus on the international travel, and more so the European market and of course the Scandinavian countries and US market. That is where our focus has been. But even before COVID, we had started this conversation on domestic market. And if you look at the numbers that we have been receiving, actually even the domestic market has been so much better than even the foreign markets in terms of numbers. But the focus has been so much on the foreign markets. You see the difference. But now we have to look at this thing and refocus on the domestic, including coming up, developing experiences and packages that support the domestic market. I don't see why we should sell maybe a hotel for a domestic traveler, maybe at 20,000 or 15,000 half-board. And if we can have this client be there, maybe pay 12,000 or 8,000, and we don't lose that hotel room. You remember the most perishable service. We are in an industry that has selling the most perishable service, because if you don't sell that hotel room, like today on 23rd of September, you'll never get another 23rd of December to sell that hotel room. So it is gone, you won't recover it. So why don't we work on how do we fill these rooms? Secondly, the cost of doing business. Actually, if you look at, people complain that the destination is expensive, but if you look at the government, from the county government to the national government, the charges and the levies that goes down to our hotel and the other service providers in the industry. For example, a hotel, you'll find that they are paying almost 30 licenses, 30, 1 to up to 30 licenses. If you go to a hotel room and you look at the reception, you look at the licenses they have hung there, the county government already is charging around 20 licenses. The national government, everyone thinks this is a cash cow. But you see, if you are operating in a situation where you're using like 70% to pay the levies and the statutories that is needed, but and the remaining money is what you need to pay for the staff, and you need also to break even. So you are getting very little. So what you are left with is to look at how the packaging, and that is why at times we complain that the packages are expensive. The government must come in and actually provide a sustainable business environment that supports the growth of tourism. But if you have over-taxation, we have so much levies, over-licensing, at the end of the day, we'll be making the destination more expensive. So as stakeholders and the tourism stakeholders, we are doing our best in terms of giving the best offers. But at times our hands are tied because you're paying so much levies. So you have now to cascade it down in terms of putting that money on the client's head.
With less than 3 million Kenyans vaccinated against the virus, Owino says the immediate future of tourism in the region remains bleak, and full vaccination is the only way out.
The issue of vaccination, we have worked closely with the government, most of the national government and the county government, who are the custodians of these vaccines. They have prioritized the vaccination of tourism staff. They have been classified under frontline staff. Workers, and the priority is also given to them when it comes to vaccination. When we are encouraging more and more vaccines. Today, if we have to fully open the industry and realize, go back to where we are, the first thing that we have to do is vaccination. The second thing is vaccination, and the third thing is vaccination. That is the only thing that we can do. If we can get 10 billion people vaccinated by December, this year, then we'll be able to have confidence, put a lot of confidence in the destination and get more clients coming to Coast Region and Kenya as a whole. There's actually interest to travel, but the only thing that we're having is a problem of confidence in a destination. And the only way to get this confidence in a destination is to focus much on vaccination. So if we vaccinate, as I said, if we can be able to vaccinate, like by next year, we are able to vaccinate around 20 million people. The industry, there's a lot of confidence. You just recently, UK just removed Kenya from the red list, and that is a good thing. So we are going to have more and more confidence in the destination Kenya and destination Coast if we have more vaccine. So for me, it's vaccine.
Just like the TikTok showcase of the great East African wider-based migration, some of the continent's most attractive tourist sites that have had tourist numbers dwindled by the pandemic have been forced to turn to the digital space to keep their lights on and doors open. Owino says that digital tourism has been a fallback plan for tourism in Kenya, but he foresees that the future of tourism will be heavily dependent on the digital space.
That's the reason why we are surviving as an industry. Because everything is digital. Digital is today and digital is tomorrow. The future is digital and the current is digital. In terms of marketing, digital marketing, position of your products and having those taglines and all that. Everyone is digital. So even how you package the destination and put it out there, you must be very strategic. And we find that most hotels, most tour operators, and everyone within the industry has actually been in the digital industry. They have leveraging on that. We have worked with Google and other partners, and even Facebook, to support the digital marketing skills training for our members within the coast region, and it has gone very well. So the focus now is on digital platform, because the days for the brochures and working office workings are over. Everyone is digital, including even digital offices. Because of COVID, we've been ravaged, so everyone wants to work online. We can't do away with media. We attach them at the hip, so they play a critical role, and we really appreciate, because even in terms of spreading the issue COVID containment measures, we find that the media has played a very big role. So we appreciate the role played by media in terms of messaging, in terms of giving information, in terms of even highlighting the plight of the industry stakeholders that we go through.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Did you know the world's top icons and legends who have made history are dyslexic? Dyslexia is a learning disorder that is characterized by difficulty in reading due to problems with identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words. Dyslexia affects areas of the brain that process language. Symptoms include delayed speech, learning new words slowly, and a delay in reading. These legends made it, and so can your child.
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
Want
to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700-893-542
or email us on sales@luke-up.tv. Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
And we are back. Thank you for always tuning to Look Up TV. This is Diaspora Fusion. And before we went on a break, we were just having a discussion on what has been happening within the week around the world. And we had done a story on the U.S. teachers to visit Kenya for benchmarking, and also Rusesabagina found guilty of crime activities in Rwanda. Now, we are still doing the review with Waris Kimathi, who is still here with me.
Yes, I'm right here.
Yes.
And this past week, the UN has been meeting at New York.
True. Yeah, so yeah, the assembly is still going on, actually.
It's still on.
It's still on. So what's happening? The assembly was opened on Tuesday. That is the 14th of Tuesday this month.
Right.
Yes, and it will end on 27th September.
That's a lot of presidents in one place.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking.
Yeah, so we do hope, people around the world, they're expecting results from the assembly, having that COVID-19 is here. And even the theme, looking at the theme, building resilience through hope to recover from COVID-19, rebuilding sustainability, respond to the need of the planet. So you see, like basically they're focusing on actually the things affecting us right now. We look at COVID-19. When COVID-19 began, people were very scared because there was no solution to it, and people lost their lives. You have people who have lost families through COVID-19. There are people who are still, positive from COVID-19. So we do hope that at least with this UN assembly going on, there's going to be solutions for countries across the world that are member states of the UN.
Yeah, and one of the highlights of this General Assembly, which happens, I think, every year, it's the new Zambian president, Hichilema. Yeah, he went to the assembly. He was elected the other day, and he went there with only 2 ministers, and it was such a buzz because usually presidents travel with convoys, with maids, with like they're moving the whole house. Back in the day when they used to bury those pharaohs, the Egyptian pharaohs, you'd be buried with your maids. If the pharaoh is dead, even the maids have to be killed so that they go serve in the afterlife. Yeah?
Exactly.
So the president...
Actually, wait, were they being killed, or they're just being buried alive to guard the king until it's a time? You'll just die from either hunger and thirst. And that was so... How will you just... Okay. I'm trying to look at this situation if it was happening today. So I've been told you're going to work in maybe, let's say, the White House or the State House in whichever country. And just know, but the fact of you beginning to work there, you surrender your entire life and give up on everything that you ever, dreamt of. And did you just accept, like, okay, fine, I'll look. And how easy was that for people, surely?
It's just class, I think if you're born into a certain class in the past, you had to accept. If you're born poor, the chances that you're going to die poor are very high. If you're born into slavery,
it was a mentality.
All that. So circling back to what we were talking about, these presidents, they have a habit of moving there with a lot of expenditure, a lot of this and that. Yeah. But this guy just said, you know what, I'm going to take 2 ministers, no drama, no what, we're going. And it was such a good example because African presidents, do you think there's any other African president, and I say, I'm just me and 2 other guys? Then this guy flew commercial. He didn't take a private jet or anything. He just flew by himself, got on a commercial plane, bought a ticket like a kawaida Zambian, and he just went to New York.
That's pretty. Should they consider it as pretty amazing, or because to be honest, being a head of a state, your position is very sensitive, and that means anyone who doesn't like you, they can easily get rid of you. yeah, it's not easy that you just trust the society and be like, you know what, I'm going to move around freely. I'm the president. I don't care. Because I've seen dramas where by some presidents, just by factor of just appearing, you know, in public, people end up doing crafty things like, you know, pouring water into the president, beating up the president. I remember that scene, you know, where the president was just greeting people and there was this guy who attacked him. You know.
There was even, recently, the French president, Emmanuel Macron, he was just shaking guys' hands. This guy comes out and he slaps the out of the guy.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. So, you know, it takes a lot of courage to trust the world, you know, with your safety.
Yeah.
But then I think it also depends with what you do, the kind of, you know, service you give to your people.
The kind of president you are.
Yeah, the kind of president you are. Because if you've created the trust, that means your people can also, you know, you can also trust the people around you. And but anyway, at the end of the day, I think he's just lucky. That's what I can say.
If you were president,
he's just lucky.
You, Cecilia, you're president. Would you walk around?
Trust me. You look at the society today. You're not even a president. You know, you're not even a president. But you still have haters. So imagine you wouldn't definitely. Because trust me, you still have haters, and they're like, and probably you're struggling with this, you know, with the economy today. And imagine if you became a, you know,
some guy slept hungry and they see you and they're like, this is the guy. This guy is the reason why I slept hungry. Everyone slapped him.
I wouldn't encourage that.
And as we move on, also something I'd like to say about the General Assembly. They are talking about COVID. That's the theme. So there's this guy from Brazil, President Bolsonaro. He doesn't care about COVID. He doesn't even believe it exists.
Imagine.
A lot of people are in this country, but the guy just doesn't care. He doesn't think it exists. And there are a whole lot of people in Brazil who support him. So he was given a chance to address that General Assembly. You know what he told them? The same thing he believes.
I think sometimes you'll seem like a crazy person. You know, people are coming together with the purpose of trying to, you know, deal with something that is affecting, you know, so many communities around the world. And you just stand up and like, you know what? I don't believe that thing exists. I don't believe that thing exists.
You know, and it's not the first time, because even Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan guy who died, he went there and he just said these things, and he told them Africa should be united, and he told the white guys that he didn't like them.
Wow. Anyways, so, you know, looking at this UN Assembly, and, you know, Abdullah Shahid of Maldives was sworn in as the General Assembly President at the beginning of the Assembly. Then due to COVID-19, you know, the number of delegates have been reduced for those who will be able to appear in the Assembly. So some of other leaders have just been asked to send their, you know, the videos of to do it virtually and just send the videos of what they had to say. They would have said rather in the UN Assembly. Yes. So it's we expect over 100 head of states to attend in person,
including our very own Kenyatta, who actually addressed them the other day.
Yes. Yeah. So that's it for the UN Assembly.
Right.
Yeah. Now let's still in Africa. Let's look at Mozambique.
Mozambique. What's happening in Mozambique?
Digital migration. Finally.
They are finally moving from analog
to digital migration. Yeah, but now let us just be specific, because you know somebody might think that did they have phones? Did they have, you know,
what kind of
digital migration did they happen in Mozambique? Now smart TVs. Smart TVs are now in Mozambique, and
we did that in 2015.
Yes, in the country. Kenya.
Kenya.
Yes. Yes, we went into digital in 2015, and now seemingly some people are not happy about that.
Why?
They're not happy about that because you know it also depends. You know, in a community we have different levels of people, because there's the rich, there's the average, and there's those people who just trying to survive, below the dollar. So, you know, now that this fellow, this is their screen, you know, this is what they've been living for the longest time, you know, watching. Then all of a sudden they have to shift. That means you have to literally, you know, buy an equipment in the house.
Go buy a digital
buy a digital box.
I remember when they changed back in 2015. You're watching your favorite program and suddenly the TV starts showing Michele.
We used to call it Michelle. Actually, that's true.
With that thing, how, Bana? What are you telling me? People are really angry, eh?
Yeah. So the people they're quite angry about that. So yeah, definitely. So, but I think that's quite a move from Mozambique. That means, as a world, eventually, you know, it happens from region to region. But where do you expect to see, first of all, the world 10 years to come?
10 years from now?
Yeah.
I don't think much will change. I mean, if these phones are here,
continue to have phones, and maybe you buy iPhones or whatever. But more people, in the rest of Africa, I think, will move toward the internet, because a lot of people on the continent,
we still have a big number.
They're not connected to the internet, and we are still growing. So I think in 10 years, the internet coverage, the number of people online, it's going to be crazy. It's going to double and triple and quadruple overnight. But on that digital thing, do you remember when you were growing up, the kind of TVs you'd watch on when it was still analog? Then the signal, it rains, so the wind, wow.
Yeah.
And you're watching. Then
or even when power goes.
Yeah. Suddenly the TV loses network, and then someone has to go up
on the roof. There's always that one person at home. There's always that one person at home when they're missing. Yes, when they're missing from home, everything just goes south. So.
And then you have to go to the roof.
Then one person has, yes, then there's that one person who has to watch it, be like, is it clear yet?
Is it on?
Is it on?
You got it. There. And then the place you're being told it's maybe you're holding it. Unless you remain there holding the remote, the aerial, it can't play. It was such a hassle.
True.
So I think digital is a good thing for Mozambicans, even the ones who are complaining.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. They get to watch TV without having to play with the aerial.
Exactly. Now, I always have a belief that most of the things actually that are happening today, they tend to be predicted in movies. Do you ever watch a movie and it's trying to give you a picture of 50 years to come, 100 years to come, how the world would look like, and what will be visited? I do watch movies, and I enjoy watching movies, and even just the plane right now, it was first featured in a movie. Like the people will be able to move in air. And by then it was just very simple. It was very, you'd be like, how can a plane carry, very many people, such a heavy thing in air? And actually it's happening, yeah. So I tend to believe that sometimes most of these predictions are in movies. So if you're watching movies, I think if you get to watch movies, you'll get to see so much. And every time I watch a movie and there's something about, a prediction of something that might happen, or a highlight of the world, years to come, I always sit down and think, I'm like, okay,
maybe this.
If someone thought about this, someone is thinking of implementing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I always think every time I watch a movie. I'm like, okay. So eventually, if I'll still be alive, but then
maybe I'll get to see this happening.
Yeah.
Because movies show a lot of crazy stuff, and to imagine that sometime this stuff is going to be converted by science or by creativity to be actually a real thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. In 10 years, the world is going to change a lot.
Now I'm looking at the Met Gala. It's one of the things that was trending, the Met Gala.
The glam and the glats.
Yes. That's actually, that's the term. This is the fashion biggest night out. Where celebrities come together and, they're dressed to kill. The designs, I always feel the designs are out of this world. And actually, this Met Gala, the main goal of Met Gala is to just, fundraise.
Really?
Yeah, its goal is to fundraise. Exactly, that's what I used to think, by the way. I used to think that people just come together. If you can come up with the best design ever, it's just a day to just, rock your best outfit and come and take pictures, and that's it. But its main goal is to fundraise. And it's fundraising benefit for the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Yes.
So you pay to look good?
You pay to look good.
Sounds like something I wouldn't do.
Why? It's more like an investment at the end of the day.
I mean, clothes are more expensive already.
But the fact that you're a star, or you're somebody who is doing something out in the society right now, and you are earning well, why not?
Yeah, right. Only stars go to those Met Gala things.
Yeah.
So when did it happen?
So this year's Met Gala, I didn't capture the dates.
But it's recent?
It's recent. It's very recent.
How was it?
I watched, and trust me, I got inspired. Those some outfits I felt like they were out of this world.
Like in a good or bad way?
Okay. Of course, definitely, they're amazing. But it's not something that you just wake up on and be like, you know what, I'm going to the market, or I want to rock this event, and turn up. If it's a wedding, you're going to crash somebody's wedding, because you'll be like, you're the most outstanding person, in the wedding, by the virtue of what you're putting. Yeah, I think it's just a unique event of its own. Yes, it's just a unique event of its own.
But it's all about fashion?
Yes, it's all about fashion. And the theme for this year was American independence. Yes. So definitely, the moment there's a theme, you have to come up with an outfit that, it's in line with the theme. So Paul came up with, you know, some of the most creative outfits that are just flashing on our screen right now, and trust me.
They're expensive also, I bet.
They're very expensive.
All
They're very
my
expensive.
styles.
I feel like someone will just go to, you know, where a shop where rather clothes are being designed, and just one dress will take a whole, you know, material to come up
A
with.
lot of clothes.
A lot of material, you know, and it's quite an investment. It's quite an investment.
Yeah, when you're a star, you invest in all sorts of things.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Maybe someday you too, Cecilia, will be there on
Yeah, so the event will always welcome stars, designers, and industry, you know, champions out there. Yes, so in fashion, not just in fashion, I think, because I've seen actors, top actors, I've seen musicians, I've seen, so basically if you're just a celebrity and, you know, you have a name, you become part of, you can, you know, sign up to become part of the annual Met Gala
and you
event.
can also afford to donate.
Yes.
I bet it's a lot of dollars.
Yeah, it's more like a charity activity. Yes. Now let's come back to Kenya.
Here in Nairobi.
Let's come back to Kenya. Ferdinand Omanyala.
I know about that one.
Ferdinand Omanyala.
Fast guy, man.
Fastest African man.
Fastest African
from
man.
Kenya.
You
Not
know,
just from
guys are
anyone,
very
from
fast.
Kenya.
It feels good even in
From
my
Kenya.
mouth saying he's the fastest. It's from.
Exactly.
So what about him?
So this guy, imagine, you know, before I knew Ferdinand, by virtue of just seeing him on social media, he doesn't look as young as expected. And you know, he inspired me in the sense that I felt like, I think I'm not doing something with my life. This guy was born in 1996.
That guy is 25.
1996.
Shell shock.
And guess what? He has been gifted by Odibets
Really?
a car.
Vroom, vroom. The other day I saw him. The guy in Pambaja, the president.
Yes, so I feel that's a win for our country. That's a win for our country, because and he's really targeting to beat Usain Bolt's record. That's his goal right now. But so far, he has made Kenya proud.
He has.
He has made Kenya proud.
He has. And you know what happens with these athletes? If you look even at the marathoners like the legend Eliud Kipchoge, he started way back during the Athens Olympics in 04. But back then, and he wasn't coming fast. But what happens in your career, like Ferdinand's, there's a likeliness he's going to end up being the fastest man in the world. Because the more you do it, it just seems to get better. And this guy is heading there. He's very fast. He's very, very fast, and I feel proud.
Yeah, having that, he's representing Kenya very well. Yes. So imagine this guy. The car's number plate is KDE 977, which is a symbol of his new record.
The Diamond League.
9.77 seconds.
Hey, that's a real flex.
At 25, what are you doing with your life?
What am I doing with my life? And then
what are you doing with your life?
He said also is that he has not always been successful, that his girlfriend has been supporting him for the longest time.
Imagine.
There was a period when she paid their rent for 6 months.
6 months.
And now he's saying how he's going to be, you know, supporting her now that to give back hand.
But I have a question. How many people get that lucky? Do you know how many people have supported people out here and they got nothing in return?
Yeah, and also there are also, right. A lot of people, you support someone and then they blow up and they feel like the right person.
So yeah, I think sometimes you get lucky when you have that one person who stands by you. You know, it's not every day that you get such kind of a person. And if you get such a kind of a person, hold on to them. The world will never give you the same person every day. Right. So I find his woman amazing.
It's exceptional too for her.
Very exceptional. Because today I think somehow the society has nurtured women to be, you know, to depend on instead of, you know, trying to be independent.
It feels even bad if you're seen or known to be supporting your partner and you're the woman.
Okay.
But you know, men have a way of blossoming into things you didn't expect.
Now, as we wrap up this discussion, now looking at the Afghanistan crisis. You know, now for over 40 years, Afghanistan has been into war. The people have not been able to, you know, experience the full peace, like let's say any other country that's experiencing the same level of some sort of peace. You know, so the country is in crisis. Looking at the health system, it's almost going to a collapse. So we really hope that the country will revive eventually. even the forces were withdrawn from Afghanistan, the US forces.
And British forces.
Yes. These and the conflict has killed tens of thousands and displaced so many people. So we do hope that, especially for the women in Afghanistan, right now we do understand that the Taliban ask women to stay away from work until the security situation is improved.
Yeah.
Don't you think slowly, probably, just the way it used to be years back?
It is actually. It's coming back.
It's coming back.
The Taliban was toppled in 2000 after 2001 9/11 attack. The U.S. moved to Afghanistan and Iraq, and before then the Taliban used to rule Afghanistan, and they have this tough, strict. They say they are Muslim, but most of them are really not religious. They're just political against women, where women were not allowed to go to school. They were not allowed to do a lot of stuff. They were not part of civil society, we know it. But now once the Taliban was put aside and a new government was reinstated, women have been able to go to uni, some were leaders, and they were flourishing. And then all of a sudden, it's back to the old days. And some of these women who are even 20, 21 years now have never been under Taliban rule. Now they have to see their lives change. These people are coming in and telling you can't do it in the city. Although the Taliban have been saying that they won't bring back those draconian rules, but it seems like it's coming back.
It seems like it's coming back slowly by slowly. Yeah, because having that, now they want to segregate learning institutions so that there's a learning institution for women and men, and they also want to review the, the school curriculum, and you're like, okay, already this is coming slowly by slowly, and we do hope that following even the UN Assembly, solutions can be arrived at in terms of helping Afghanistan so that at least the country gets to have peace once more, because there's so many people who are suffering at this point.
Right, a lot of women and children.
Yeah. Yeah, so we unfortunately have run out of time.
We're going to wrap it up there?
Yes, we're going to wrap it up there.
In Afghanistan.
Yes. And we really wish to update you more on what has been happening around the world. There's so much more that we could talk about, but we're going to go with our time today. And I just wish to say thank you for always taking your time to watch Look Up TV. This is Diaspora Fusion. And as always, my name is Cecilia Lubanga. And today,
I'm with Lubanga, my name is Luaris.
Yes.
And I'm happy to be on Diaspora Fusion.
Yes.
Right, till next time.
Yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable, and worthwhile experience. Here at Look Up Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities.